Once again, a very warm welcome, brothers and sisters, to our inaugural English Dhamma session. It is not a workshop, but an inaugural English Dhamma session after, I think, 20 plus years in Kedah Buddhist Association. So I'm currently, yes,
30 years?
20 plus that we have not organized any English Dhamma sessions.
Just had last month, Bhante Dr.
Yeah, I mean, Dhamma talk. A workshop is the one. Yeah. Yeah, we have a workshop 2 days, but a general, that's a turning point, yes. 2 months ago.
We have a chief monk also.
Yes, 2 months ago. Yeah, correct. I'm the one who is lacking my memory. I'm sorry. My memory failed me. Okay, yeah. But in this year, I think in this year we had our 1 to 2 sessions. That is the 3rd session we're coming. I'm sorry for that. But it is good to see we are coming with more English Dhamma sessions. My name is Theo. Hi, welcome, sister. Have a seat. So my name is Theo. I'm currently the Dhamma Propagation Officer of the Kedah Buddhist Association, and also I've been serving here since 2019, and this is my 7th year over here at KBA. We used to conduct a lot of sessions in Mandarin, so to pardon me if some of my pronunciations are not that correct. I'm sorry for that, but we'll be trying and striving to make improvements in our Dhamma propagation in English, which is not really our native language, but we try at least to have more sessions like this. So with 2025, we flourish ourselves with 2 Dhamma workshops, and 1 Dhamma workshop and 1 short sharing by Venerable Sri Dhamma Kedah Mansara. And now we have Bhante Dr. Bhante Dr. Chandima Govindalama, who hailed all the way from Canada, to Malaysia. I think this is not his first time in Malaysia, because Bhante Dr. Chandima had been to Langkawi Island quite a couple of times in the courtesy of our Dhamma propagation group in Langkawi. It's an unofficial one, but yeah. So this is his very first visit to KBA. So let's put our hands together to welcome Bhante today. The topic chosen for today's session was quite relevant to all of us, especially when I look at the topic, I smiled. Why I smiled? Because I think my buttons have been pushed quite a lot of times. I think all of us do have our buttons being pushed many times in our lives. We get angry, we get agitated, but this is how life goes on, and this is the ups and downs of life. Is how we react to it that matters. So today, it aptly sits how to stay calm when people push our buttons. Okay. But before we start off the session today, do allow me to have a brief introduction of Bhante Dr. Chandima. Bhante Dr. Chandima was a professor of Buddhist philosophy in the Department of Philosophy at Ateneo de Manila University in the Philippines. His recent peer-reviewed article, Socrates and Early Buddhist Medical Ethics, Foundations of Moral Reasoning in the Care of Body and Mind, published in last year, 2025, in Buddhi, a Journal of Ideas and Culture of Ateneo de Manila University. He also presented his latest research at the annual meeting of the American Academy of Religion in Boston, United States of America, in a paper titled Custodians Without Ordination, the Ghaninese Tradition and Monastic Succession in the 17th Century in Sri Lanka. So it is a very humble yet powerful and impactful biodata. When I Google about Bhante Dr. Chandima, or maybe any one of you who try to Google about him, you can find a lot of myriad of videos, talks, and even research papers, which really mesmerized me a lot today. So again, let's put our palms together. In the recital, we'll have a brief recital of Triratana in respects to Bhante Dr. Chandima to begin our sessions. Let's pay 3 bows to Bhante Dr. Chandima. a recital of it.
Okay. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Thank you, Brother Theo, for this gracious introduction. And then I cannot remember others' names. I hope that some of you are from the management, from management executive committee from Kedah Buddhist Association, KBA. And I'm very happy to pay a visit to this place. And I am even happier when I learned that that this is a Dhamma talk in English that you are organizing after almost. We pay respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I have been to Langkawi almost 3-4 times, and I have given talks in the temple over there, and most of the other talks were given in the place that Dr. Chong has been missed to. So today we are going to talk about this interesting topic: how to stay calm when people push your buttons. So would you like to take a capture of this for a moment of time? Buddhist wisdom with modern day life insights. Okay. So, no. I think this is a very interesting topic because a lot of people make the statement when they are not happy, when they are frustrated. They might say that someone push my button, right? But then only we understand we have buttons other than the shirt, right? So how does Buddha look at these frustrations, these situations, how to overcome frustrations that can happen through situations where other people push us, rush us to make us unhappy. So how to respond to these things? Because normally in Buddhism we understand we are not supposed to react to anything, right? Reactions are always automatic. So we need to have responses. So why this topic matters to all of us in our life? Number one is that we are triggered at work, home, online and in traffic with regard to scenarios. It might be at work or home, even online. Nowadays frustrations mostly come from online activities because everybody is mostly they are on social media platforms. Even someone can send you a message, right? Maybe someone can forward somebody's something and you might be annoyed because why this person is sending so many messages to me, so many messages actually. Have you ever become frustrated when people keep sending you messages? Have you ever blocked people?
Yes.
Look at, these are living examples. So then how do we process these situations? Maybe this person who is sending us messages may be a good friend of us, but that person has more free time, and then to browse all these things, and once that person feels happy, send it to everybody in the contact list. But is it necessary? Well, let's say we cannot control that person, we cannot manage that person, but now the problem is how we can manage that much information. Or not even one person is sending us, but many people can send us messages, right? Now we have certain what you call some of the supportive functions too. We can sometimes mute our messages. We can maybe block sometimes, right? But the problem is nowadays other people will know that whether we read the message or not. They are pushing more messages. Why are you not reading my messages? I sent to you. You are ignoring me, right? So we have a little bit of situation where tension, maybe entitlement, maybe gratitude, management with regard to emotions should happen. So these are the places, and it couldn't be limited to these places too. There may be more places. Anger and reactivity damage our relationships and mental health. What do you think about it? Has it ever damaged? Yes, when you sometimes say some words out of reactions, other people might, maybe the other people who made it, even willingly, unwillingly, they might have been upset about it, they might have been not happy about it, right? So once again, reactions could be the problem here. So Buddhism addresses the root causes of emotional disturbances. Buddhism is not only looking at symptoms. Now when a problem is happening in your life, may I know how you address the problem? Tell me a very small problem that you may be going through, a frustration in your life, a very mini frustration that is not harmful that much. Things don't go the way we want. Okay, that's a very important observation. Actually, the problem is not from our side, right? The problem that somebody might pick on could be from other people's side, because we want to look for a culprit, we want to look for a person who is making that. So then Buddhism is asking us to look at what is happening to us, what is frustrating us from the root causes. Sometimes the people who are giving us the frustration are not doing it on purpose, right? That might be what they can do at that point. So Buddhism is asking us to look at the conditions of the situation, not what you see from outside, right? We can see a lot of things from outside and our perceptions can be very unrealistic, right? Always give some space to understand other people. Don't try to understand people from your perfection, right? Okay, you should be doing that, you should do this, you should help me, right? What if that you are going to a restaurant with a friend, then you want to eat lot of things, so you order lot of things, but the other person cannot eat and you are blaming the other person. See, you are not eating with me, right? So I bought lot of big dishes to eat, but the other person doesn't want to eat that much. But because of your craving, you put other people into that problem, right? If you want to eat, you may eat, but why you put blame on others, right? So when people sometimes go to a restaurant, they feel very much excited about, whoa, lots of things, I want to order 4-5 things. But most of these dishes are very big dishes, right? So other person cannot actively participate in that eating together because it's too much for that person too. So it's a very minor frustration, right? What about you want to go for a restaurant with someone, but the other person doesn't like those food? Does it happen to people? Tonight I want to eat from that place. The other person doesn't want to eat those food on that day. So how do I understand? On one side, my preference. On the other side, people in my life, they have their own choices, right? Then what should you do? You should look for a place where there's a fusion, Western, Eastern food together, At least you can minimize the problem, right? I mean, there are ways to sort out a problem. If you only want to go the way how you want to think, things should happen, then more suffering will come to you. So if you want to be with other people, especially for things to happen, you need to think conditions. How can I minimize the problem? How can I get it done in a better way, not only my way, right? So Buddhism then wants us to think about the root cause of the problem. Root cause is I have put my preferences as the high bar, the priority, and I want other people to participate in my priority. Then more suffering will come to us. But most of the time, there may be situations when you are with good people, your people, things can work. But in most situations, it might not work. Calmness is a trainable skill, not a personality trait. You know, in our life, when people, let's say, push us into certain things, rush us into certain things, we feel our calmness cannot survive at that point. So then we need to understand that calmness is not a personality or inherent thing that everybody brings. We all have to be trained. Even Sangha members also have to be trained. Everybody has to be trained, right? So in that case, what we need to know is that we need to improve our calmness. Whatever happens to me in my life, in my daily life, I am not going to be frustrated about it. Actually, frustrations will come to us as long as we don't understand the life, right? What does pushing your buttons mean? Sometimes words of other people, tone, behavior, they all are very much strong triggers with regard to the what you call situation that can really create a sort of frustration. Now here we understand two things, words and tone. Can you see the difference between words and tone? What are the situations where words push us, push our buttons, and what are the situations, the tone which other people talk to us, maybe messages or anything, push us our buttons. So words and tone. Normally people talk about words only. What about the tone? Any example that you can think about it? You look like you haven't lived so far. Anybody? Anyways, does tone matter? When people talk to you, they talk to you by raising their voice. Will you be happy? Tell me, yes. Don't be just silent. Only when you talk, we can talk about it. Otherwise, I think you haven't experienced that so far. Very new to the life. Right? Tone matters.
But sometimes, Bhante, some people, they are so used to using that tone, which you can't, that person also can't control. Can't be helped.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. Now, we are not going to change the tone of other people. That is their life. Now, we are trying to improve us to understand the tone. Now, I am asking here, does tone matter? Tone matters. But when you live with someone for 10-20 years with that tone, you will become immune to it. Right? Okay, I think it's good now. So, tone matters. So, when we talk to other people, we have to be not only careful about what we talk, but also the particular tone that we are using in that speech. So, we need to know that two of the triggers for pushing buttons come from words and tone. So, what kind of words should we talk? How do we talk? No, some people are very, they have a very strong accent, hard accent, strong voice. So, I am asking ethical side, truthful speech, right, harmonious speech, pleasant speech, and then meaningful speech. Buddha is worried about these parts. Not everybody's quality of the speech. Different people are different, right? Some people are soft spoken, some people are speaking very loud, right? That is their nature, right? Right. So it's about looking at the ethical aspect of our speech. Tone, we have to understand how not to raise our voice and then to talk to other people in a nice way. Now, when we talk about the tone, I'm talking about the people who are artificially trying to raise their voice. Right? Think about, you go to a shop and then you are not happy, you try to raise your voice, and that kind of raising is the problem. But there are other people, when they are speaking, their natural voice is already raised. What to do? We cannot do anything for that. So here we are talking any artificial raising of the voice to show frustration. We don't have to. Right? In many places we know they have posted that we don't tolerate, we have zero tolerance with regard to raising voice, especially at different places too. And behavior, different behaviors that we are having, how we talk, how we do activities, right? So we have to know what are the trigger points of pushing our buttons. Actually, at the end, what we are trying to do is that whatever, or regardless of how other people behave, talk to us, we are not trying to feel that we are being pushed, we are being pushed for our buttons. We are very much mindful, kind, careful in processing those responses from other people. That is the plan. But now at the moment I am telling you how could someone become triggered with regard to pushing their own buttons because of other people's activities. The trigger feels external, but the reaction is internal. Triggers are mostly coming from outside, right? But then what if you have not improved, cultivated wholesome thoughts, then you will, would you react or would you respond? What is the point that we will react and we will respond? When you don't have a cultivated thoughts, then you will react easily. You will do tit for tat. If you blame me, I also blame you. If you don't like me, I also don't like you. That is happening from an uncultivated mind, thoughts. Cultivated thoughts will give a different response. Okay. Now think about 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if you were not a Buddhist, suppose you were not a Buddhist, you are just a normal person, you only came to the temple for Vesak or maybe Katina, you have not read Dhamma books, you have not listened to Dhamma talks. Think about that time when somebody was making you angry, one person was making you angry once and you become 2 times angry towards that person. Why? I want to show that what you are doing is wrong. Right? When that person 2 times angry, you were 3 times angry. But later when you learn Dhamma, you understand this is not the way to respond. This is not the way to process. When anybody is mean to me, I take care of myself and I develop the right thought with regard to those people. Right? That is the proper way to cultivate our thoughts. So nowadays we know in psychology they are talking about emotional reactivity. It's a very big concept, right? Especially in our daily life, we are very much bothered by what is happening from other people and we are emotionally disturbed. But we don't have to be. When we spot the emotions, our own emotions and the triggers, if we are properly responding, then reactivity will be very less. It will be very minimal. So we can manage us. That's why in today's world we find out there are lots of kids who are very intellectual. They have what you call IQ, intellectual quota. They pass exams very well. They know anything because they are learning from internet. They know much more than you about anything. But when it comes to EQ, emotional quota, lot of them are 0. They want to take their life, they don't want to talk to other people, they don't talk to others actually. If you have children, you know how you're going to handle them. Most of them, I'm not saying everybody. Why is it? Friends have become digital. There are no more interactions with regard to friends, right? They might say, I have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people, but they are all digital friends, internet friends. There are no physical encounters with other people. So that means nowadays, more than the IQ level, what is very important is emotional intelligence. How intellectual, how wise am I with my emotions? That is very important. If you look at what is happening in the world, how many crimes are happening just because someone didn't agree to someone, right? Why is it? Who are taking life for the most part? Are they elderly people or are they young people for the most part? What is the highest percentage? Everybody can do it. I mean, when things go wrong, which is not good in Buddhism. But what is the most, number of people who are taking that? Young people. Why? They don't have enough interactions with other people. So emotions are not properly regulated. That's why this is very important when we talk about pushing our buttons. Actually, we have to think that there are no buttons actually. It is only processing properly, wisely with regard to what other people are doing to us. That is what we have to be wise enough. If you look at it from a very technical point of view in Buddhism, you can see Buddhism talks about how these situations can arise. There's a Pali word called passa. You can see here contact. This passa leads to tanha. Passa means contact. Contact is not this contact only. With eyes, I see sight, you. Contact. My eyes and you will get together. And my voice, and then you will hear my voice, and I hear your voice if you talk, right? And nose and the smell, they get together. That is called contact, passa. And tongue, food, and then the taste, right? Tongue and taste. And body, touch. Now you are seated on a chair, body and the touch. So every time when a sense faculty get together with its own corresponding object, there is a contact. Now when it comes to situations when other people are trying to make us angry, whatever, there is this sense faculty and then object. Normally you have to look at it from sense faculty. I don't like to see that person. Do people make that statement? Their eyes don't like that contact. I don't want to hear that person's voice, right? So that person's ears and then the sound. I don't like to smell a particular fragrance or something. I don't like to eat that particular food. On the other hand, I like to see, I like to hear, I like to smell, I like to taste. So what is happening between this sense faculty and the object is contact. So in order for a certain frustration where you are pushing your buttons to happen, there must have a combination or meeting point between sense faculty and then the sense object, and we call it as passa, contact. When you have passa, you have a feeling, it's a good feeling. I like seeing them. I like hearing that voice. I like that smell. I like that food, very tasty. I like that touch, right? I like that thought. Then what will happen? You come to the feeling, contact, feeling, vedana we call it. Then the way how you process your feeling at that point will go to tanha, craving. How do you know that you have craving with regard to something? We take it as a certain sensory experience. We will say if it was a taste, Oh, I want that food every day. I'm not going to any other place. I really want. If I cannot go there, I will feel very, what do you call, insane about it. I want it, right? So you are creating a clinging toward that particular food in that particular place. So now craving will start. Or sometimes it can, craving will appear as a part of anger, aversion. So what is happening is that when you are pushed by other people, if you don't have the right understanding about Buddhism, wise understanding, respond, if you are reacting, what will happen is that you will come to the passa, your contact. That contact will immediately leading you to craving and clinging. More problems can happen to you at that point. So we have to then protect us, take care of our what you call responses. We don't have to react, right? Why do people push our buttons? Criticism. Some people don't like to be criticized. Disrespect, they want to disrespect us, maybe control, misunderstanding, right? Have you ever, what do you think about criticism? Would you like to be criticized by other people constructively? We need. Now think about when you run a temple like this, Buddhist center, you need comments from other people. They don't have to write their name. They come for a certain event. Okay, share with us your feedback so we can improve our event next time, right? Maybe the experience, situation, ambience, right? They will write whatever they want, but that is important because you can improve yourself. So don't be scared of other people's criticism. But if someone is going to keep criticizing every time, it can become a problem, right? Because you don't like it. Every time someone says you, he or she is going to complain to you. That's going to be a problem. But otherwise, criticism is very important, right? I've been to a certain country. I never see in any restaurant, the restaurants are asking our feedback. Normally every restaurant they are asking the feedback, right? Give us your feedback, you rate us. Then I asked someone in that country, why are there no requests even in high-end restaurants for any feedback? Because people don't care about it. People don't care about giving comments. So they think this is the best treatment that they are giving to us. But when we eat, we can feel the problems, right? But what if you comment on that, next time they are going to improve themselves, upgrade their system if they can. So I think we need constructive criticism, not insulting criticism. So don't be mad about it. If somebody says to you anything, don't be mad at anybody. Sometimes you think you are pushed by other people because you don't understand what you should do. So anyway, criticism, good or bad, disrespect, controlling, manipulation, misunderstanding. Sometimes you feel very annoyed because somebody was something happened from someone as a mistake. Can you think about an example where something happened by a mistake? If you take transportation, someone stepped on your foot. You are so mad, so painful. But then you understand the other person, no, it was a mistake. And that person apologizes to you. So you think somebody pushed your button, actually that person didn't push your button. It was a mistake. The next time you think I have to avoid rush time to use the public transport, right? If I can make a choice. In this way we can minimize situations where we feel that other people are trying to push us. It's not always that they are intentionally doing it. Sometimes it is because they are misunderstood, right? Sometimes it is because their environment, they were raised in a very manipulative environment. I have seen a lot of situations. There are some people who are always saying, my father, my mother did not let me do anything since I was a child. So when I went to my relationship, When I say something, when my partner is saying something, I also think he or she is reflective about my mother, my father, childhood trauma. Think about it. The other person is always misunderstanding. You are trying to push my button. No, it's not. It is your childhood trauma. You have gone through childhood problems. It's like an abandoned dog, a cat. Everybody throws stones at the cat and dog. And now you are a good Samaritan, you are a good person, you want to help that dog or cat. So you are approaching the dog. The dog is staying under a car. Will the dog be happy to come to see you, or will the dog be or cat be scared to ask you to be touched? Yes, because dog or cat might think you will also do the same thing to the cat. Traumatic experiences in life. Sometimes our childhood, sometimes the place we were raised, grown up, right? So that's why we have to understand. Not everybody, not all these situations are pushing our button. It is our problems, our environment problem, our raising problem, childhood growth problems. So when I learn all these things through wisdom, I can become more clear, I can be more peaceful. When people are asking us questions, Bhante, we have a problem, someone is pushing my buttons. Tell me how that person is pushing your buttons. No, that person is always annoying, does not respect what I think, what you believe. No, I don't like that thing. Then I think about how did it come to you? Then I understand it was a childhood problem, family problem, and that person has been maintaining it over time. Now easily want to put that into the partner side. Right? So we have to be very careful with regard to that aspect too. Triggers activate habitual emotional patterns. Now the problem is, as you have a certain wrong way, unwise way to respond to these things. I mean, you are doing reactions. Over time, what will happen is that you will develop that trigger as a habit. Every time when you see something, out of that habit, you are going to complain. There was a situation in a place. Everybody wants to sit down for the Dhamma talk, meditation, I think. Then there was a devotee who was trying to correct other people. You cannot sit like this. You must sit like this. So that person wants to correct everybody. So some of them were very offended. Right? Then someone asked, why are you correcting us? No, that is how our Dhamma teacher told us. So why are you imposing on other people in a different programs? It looks like the way how others sat down in the temple offended that person, and now that person wants to correct everybody. Why? Even in the temples this can happen, not even in the house. We don't have to correct anybody. It is common sense, right? Right? I think this could be one reason why many young people don't come to temples. They try to correct other people, Let them come, and they will learn slowly about life and how to do, how to talk, how to sit down. It's a process, right? It's like how you raise your children, your babies, if you have. Are you going to teach everything in one day? This is how you should talk, how you walk, how you do. No, it takes time. So you don't have to correct, especially in the temple structure, other things. You don't have to. But slowly, if you want to tell something, tell it in a nice way at a certain point. That is how we're going to keep our pleasantness. Right? So be very careful. If you are offended due to a certain unnecessary trigger, thinking that somebody pushing your buttons, perhaps this is a misperception that you are trying to create, and it can become a habit within you. Right? So be very careful. So finally, the problem is not other people for the most part. It is how we have developed our responses with regard to processing what other people do. It is not the person too. Sometimes we think someone is pushing us, pushing our buttons, but it is not a person. Disturbance arises from contact, as I said, untrained mind, abhavita chitta. Can we talk about abhavita chitta, untrained thought, we can say? Do you train your thoughts every day? What do you normally do as a follower of the Buddha? Whether you come from Mahayana, Theravada, or any Vajrayana, any tradition, do you train your thoughts? Today I got a document from Brother Theo. It's about repentance. I think 108 Bhaving upstairs. And when I see all that, it looks to me that all those ideas are training our thoughts. So number one that you have to do as a Buddhist, as a follower of the Buddha, is to train your thoughts, not anything else. The rest will come to you later. How to train our thoughts? Can you identify some of the thoughts? Let's talk about the akusala side, unwholesome side.
Always be mindful.
Huh?
Always be mindful.
Yeah, mindfulness is the thing that we can do. I'm asking, can you identify one thought, good or bad thought? Selfish thought. Selfish thought. Where does it come from? Greed. Greed. Huh? Now think about with regard to career, right? You think that someone is doing better than you, getting more perks from the company, right? Someone's reputation is going well, better than you, right? Even in your family, if someone is doing well, right? Some people cannot take it, right? How can my sister doing well better than me? How can my brother do better than me, right? How can our neighbors do better than us, right? So that is a thought. Is that a good thought? Selfishness thought? Not a good thought, right? That will always keep us down in our thoughts. Then what is the good side of that thought? Selfless thought. Thinking about others first, us second. Can you think about one example that you can do to make it? Volunteers who come to this place, are they being paid? No, they are not paid. Selfless actions, right? Can you think about other example where people practice selfless thought? Huh? Sorry? Rescue missions. That's a bit hardcore example. Rescue missions, they put other people's life as a priority, like bomba, soldiers, intelligence, soldiers, right? Police. They don't know what's going to happen to them anytime, right? And I'm talking about normal daily life. Can you think about one example where you had more selfless thought? Helping others. You are more concerned about how other people do their day. Did you eat? Are you okay, right? Or are you someone who's always waiting? Other people should ask my whereabouts. You should ask, how am I doing well today or not, right? Always me. This is the main thing Buddha asks us to minimize. I, me, myself should go down, right? We is the understanding that we have to bring up. So the Buddha is saying that if you have a cultivated mind which has thoughts, that means that you can really respond to this question. You can really overcome external problems that are coming to you, because you are training yourself, you are training your thoughts. But you know, when you see a company, when you see somewhere, there are workshops that are happening for people to train, right? So let's say someone is meditating a lot. So could that person stop training the thoughts after a couple of retreats, couple of activities? No, training is an ongoing activity. You have to train yourself every day. Otherwise, we don't know, anytime an akusala, unwholesome thought can come to you, right? Only when people become enlightened, they don't have to train their thoughts because they are already freed from all these issues. The Buddha says dukkha is not caused by others but by clinging. Normally we think other people create dukkha for us, but dukkha is caused by our clinging. Why am I in this sansara? Why are you in this sansaric life? It is because of your karma. Why will you be reborn? It is also because of your karma, right? Because that is your, what you call, support. So are you trying to create more dukkha then, suffering, dissatisfaction? I don't think you have to. You have to free from the dukkha. So how to free from the dukkha? To stop clinging. Don't try to cling. Enjoy your life, but don't cling to that enjoyment, right? Buddhism is not against about enjoyment. What Buddhism is not against is that if you cling to your enjoyment, that is the big no-no point, right? So people are conditions, not controllers of your thoughts and mind, right? So that means nobody is trying to control you actually, but when you, the way how you react, respond to those people will control your thoughts, right? Sometimes these are very easy to understand things, but we have made them very complicated. So when someone is giving you a hard time, rather than thinking how to stop that person, try to understand what are the emotions, what are the thoughts that are arising because of that person. If you change the way how you respond, then everything will be okay. So freedom begins with seeing this clearly. Okay, because we initially planned to have a talk for 1 hour and then to have a Q&A. So I'm going to show you a little bit of other slides and then we can have a Q&A after that. So as I said earlier, contact, feeling, perception, reaction, right? This is the process how we are creating reaction. Now perception means memory. Remember the memory that people have gone through with regard to their trauma, the memory will come back. Pleasantness, unpleasantness. So we are reacting to people who are creating a frustration to us through greed, through aversion, through anger, right? So when we understand this process through right mindfulness, you can see samma sati, it breaks the chain before reaction. What is samma sati, right mindfulness? Right mindfulness means satipatthana. I don't know how many of you know that word, satipatthana. There are 36 satipatthana practices, 36. But you don't have to practice all of them. You can practice 1 or 2, enough, right? You are not going to practice everything that was given in the text. At least 1, 2, enough. So when you practice it, then you are creating responses over reactions. That is the way how we can stop frustrations that are coming from other people. Then we will never blame others, we will never blame us. Then we will monitor whether we can create responses all the time, every day. It is the same thing. Okay, some of the reasons. Triggers come from past conditioning. Sometimes our trauma comes from past life, not even in this life, from this life. Can you think about a trauma that can come from past life? Let's say you were having some problems with someone. You were having certain very much disturbances with somebody in the past life. And you have died in the past life thinking, I want to take revenge. So what is happening in this life? You are finding that person and quarreling each other in this life too. Conditioning. Actually, we have a lot of stories in Buddhism where people became enemy and then from that life until the last life, they became enemy in every life. So we have to break it free. Otherwise, we are carrying anger into the next life. How to break it free? Right mindfulness, understanding my reactions, and I think I need responses over reactions. In this life, these traumatic experiences come from expectations, identity, pride. Because when someone is even doing a good suggestion to you, you might think it's a personal attack. How come you talk to me like that? Actually, if you want to tell something to someone, good advice, how should you tell? You have to communicate it personally. Don't tell it in public, because the other person might be embarrassed, right? No, Buddha said to voice it out at any place. I have to tell you, no, that person might be very much shocked to hear that thing. Because we all have imperfections in our life. The only thing is that we are getting better every day. When we learn Dhamma, we get better. So when we want to communicate to someone, then what should we do is that we have to communicate personally if it is necessary to do so, right? So that is one thing to think about. So finally, what you are developing is right mindfulness that will give you awareness about you. When anybody is talking to you, when anybody is behaving in a certain way, you are not taking it as a personal attack, but you are understanding people differently, their choices, their preferences, their way of talking, and from that day onwards, nobody can harm you. You are safe. You are always safe. But until that day, you always think if somebody talks to someone, okay, you are gossiping about me. You are talking something bad about, you are bad mouthing. How do I know? Even they are bad mouthing about you, the way how you respond to that bad mouthing will decide whether the attack will go further or not. Sometimes when you're going to hunt for the people who are bad mouthing about you, they will improve it, increase it more and more. They will make it as a fun. But if you are not going to be very much concerned about other people's activities, they also will drop it because you are not concerned about it. Right? So sometimes when there are things happening, even the Buddha said in the Vinaya, you don't have to even talk about it. Just forget about it. So those people will not continue. But if you're going to talk about it, they will continue. It will never end, right? I will teach you a couple of practices to overcome this problem, right? So then you will understand I have no buttons. If anybody talks anything about me, I'm not worried about it. If it is something pleasant, I am going to thank that person. If it is not good, then I will respond to that person, respond to the group. Number one, pause before you react, right? Normally we understand reactions are automatic. At least pause before you react. Pause means take a moment of time. Why? If you don't take a moment of time, you will be dragged into that problem. You will be a part of the problem. How can you do? One conscious breath before responding. Take a deep breath and breathe it out. That will give you some clarity, some peace, some happiness. When you talk, if they are trying to do something not good for you, now you are talking and they are talking, then short pause interrupts impulsive speech. You don't keep talking, you take a moment of time, short break in that speech, and you know that I am aware about what's happening. But if you are also going to keep talking, then they are also trying to keep talking, and then going to be a massive trouble. Pause, short pause. So in Buddhism, there is a very interesting practice in the suttas that is called yoniso manasikara, wise attention. That's the attention Buddha asks us to practice to go to mindfulness, right mindfulness. Actually, this right mindfulness or satipatthana is not possible if you don't practice wise attention. Do you have attention all the time? Yes, you do. But that is called unwise attention. You put you before Y and A before yo, ayoniso manasikara. Normally when things happen to us in our personal life, we only look at the cream of the problem, tip of the iceberg. and we're going to decide what to do. But the Buddha said, don't do that. It's like, to us, an iceberg. What part of the iceberg can you see in the ocean? If you have seen those glaciers, what part of the iceberg you can see? The tip part, the tip, right? You can't see the bottom, but the bigger part of the iceberg is lying inside the ocean. Now think about, your problem is like iceberg. You only see the tip of the problem, and you're going to solve it in your own way. Then you understand, no, I did not answer my question. I think I didn't sort it out, because I did not see the bigger problem inside. That's why the Buddha said, go to the bottom of the problem, get to the bottom of the problem, right? How can you go there? How can you do it? Through Yoniso Manasikara. Yoniso Manasikara means you need to get to the bottom of the problem and then to see it. Don't get driven by what is happening from outside, right? Once again, emotional regulation in the modern way, but at the same time, Buddhist way is wise attention, Yoniso Manasikara. Second practice, now the first practice is pause, okay? And Yoniso Manasikara, wise attention will help you. Second, name the experience. Normally what is happening to you is that when someone is making you angry, of course, if you are learning Dhamma very well, nobody can make you angry, even they can make you angry. Let's say you are getting angry, what is the immediate thought that will come to you? I am angry. So instead of thinking I am angry, no, anger is here within me now. Name it. I sometimes have a funny suggestion for people. When you're angry, don't do anything. Do the anger journaling. Take a piece of paper, write down what comes to your mind at that time. Everything, I'm so angry and all, and write it on a piece of paper. And then after a while you will become peaceful, I mean you get back to normal. Then grab that paper, read it and see how evil, how monstrous are you at that point. Then you will understand, even though I am a peaceful person, I have so much monstrous, evil, unwholesome thoughts that I can be at any time. Then I have to work on that because I wrote it down, right? So always try to take the experience, not calling that yourself. See, anger is, if it is anger is present instead of I am angry. When you bring I am angry, you think you have to react very fast. How come you made me angry? I have supported you. I have given a lot of things to you. How come? Because then you are bringing whatever the things you have done for other people. Don't go that far, If you go that far, you will never finish this problem. When the jealousy arises within you, jealousy is within me, not I am jealous now. So then I can see it clearly. Okay, jealousy is not good, right? Have you ever felt that when you were jealous about somebody? Wow, that person is so beautiful, right? No, beauty is over there. You're looking at it. It's not about who is beautiful. Beauty is over there. Because we always bring this I, me, myself to what is whole, what is pleasant. That is the issue here. So you see the enjoyment nicely. Think about a moment that frustration has come to you. You are thinking, no, frustration has come to me. Or frustration can be seen, not that I am frustrated. Once you call it I am frustrated, you look for the culprits. Who made me frustrated? Right? That's the thing. That's why the Buddhism says, name the experience. That is another way, second way to overcome unnecessary situations that trigger you to be unwholesome. Right? So I just keep it as it is, otherwise you will forget about it. The first one is pause. Second one, name the experience. Third one, wash the body. Actually, there are a lot of things that are happening in our body when things don't go well. Tight jaw, heat, racing heart. What else that can happen to you when you are not happy? Loss of voice. face,
Become red.
face become red, and then breathing faster, heavy breathing, and then heat. Yes, heat is here. And what else? We don't know. So there are some other extraordinary human beings who might go through certain other triggers. Now, why is this important to notice? Once you see that there is race in the heart, heat, taijo, loss of voice, you understand something unwholesome has affected at the moment. Right? Normally when people are going through this experience, they never watch the body. They are still thinking, who made me like this? You are responsible for my blood pressure tonight. Some others are watching it. Really? Yes, because of your activities, I had this pressure problem. Actually, there are people who got into the high blood pressure because of this issue. They are saying, I took care of everybody, but finally they did not behave the way how I want them to behave. So finally I got into this health problem. If they learn this at least for 1 minute in that past, they would have never become sick like that. I tell you. Wash your body. That's what the Buddha said in the breath meditation. Wash your body. You see the problems. Right? It creates lots of opportunities for you to stop escalation and all the issues. So number 1, take a pause. Number 2, name the experience. Number 3, watch the differences that are happening in the body. How is your body now? Are you okay? It should be okay, definitely. Happy, right? At the moment, right? Okay. 4th practice, do not personalize. This is where I am going to bring about that early observation. I think we personalize everything, almost everything, right? In our life, starting from our personal life into the global politics, we personalize. We have to depersonalize now. Use at DE before personalize, depersonalize. No, don't make everything personal. Don't take them seriously. Because not everything is about you. Because if you don't create trust, security in your life, then what will happen? You will suspect everybody. Think about you are in a relationship that you suspect about your partner every time. Where is he going? She's going now. I think he must be doing something wrong behind my back. What are you doing so much with the phone nowadays? Is there something going wrong? But when you understand the person, clear communication, understanding, you depersonalize any situation. Right? You don't have to be worried about each and everything. Let it happen. Right? Others act from their own stress, fear habits. Earlier you thought that person was making you annoyed, but you understand, no, that person's character is like that. He or she is talking to everybody like that. So what's your problem? Right? That is their nature. So when we understand more about other people's conditions, we can be happier, we can be unaffected. Think about you go into a restaurant, and once again I'm bringing restaurant, and you see the waiter, right, or waitress or waiter, is not doing well to you, right? We have to talk. There's no button also. You have to raise your hand, but they are not coming to you. But when you went there 2 weeks ago, the same person treated very well. But today, he or she is not very active today. Then you are very unhappy about it. You have to go somewhere now, after the food. Then you voice out your frustration in some ways. But later you understand that person got a problem in his or her family. That is why he or she was behaving like that. Yes. Why you take it personally? You think everybody's actions are supposed to be relevant to you. No, we don't have to. See, this is the freedom, this is the happiness Buddha is telling us. Don't personalize, right? Because there are many people who are living their life out of stress, out of fear, out of habit. Actually, what you can do is try to learn what is happening, try to listen to them. They will be happier faster, right? You always want to talk about what you know, what you did, but listen to them. Then more problems can be fixed. Even the family problems, right? In families, everybody wants to talk. Then finally nobody is listening to each other, right? More problems can come. Try to listen more. It doesn't mean you cannot talk. You talk as necessary, but more listening, more problems can be overcome. That is one way to depersonalize. So, actually it is one kind of one way to be compassionate about what's happening. So, number one, again, pause. Number two, naming the experience. Number three, watch the body. Number four, do not personalize, depersonalize, right? You can see more awareness, you can see more clarity, more happiness will come to you in a moment of time. Fifth practice, speech. Our speech matters a lot nowadays. Why? May I know why our speech matters a lot in today's world? Because we have a communication breakdown by today. You might think, really? Yes. We are communicating with non-verbal formats, messages. When we want to say something to somebody in the house, we send the message to the US and US sends the message back to the person in the ground floor. So then everybody is trying to understand the message you are sending through that platform. If you are not properly sending it, they will misunderstand about it. That means our communication has become very non-verbal by today. Compared to 20 years ago, not many people had mobile phones, right? It was very costly 20, 30 years ago to own a mobile phone. So you have to talk to people. When you talk to people, you can manage people. Nowadays, people don't talk that much, more problems can come. There are good sides too, but I'm talking about non-verbal communication. That's why it is very important to talk eye to eye, especially with the loved ones. That will clear most of the misunderstanding. Don't try to message for even small things. Go and talk. That's a good way to engage. They will appreciate you. You will appreciate later on. Because you don't like to go and talk, why should I talk? They should come and talk to me. Ego. Ego takes you over. No, you go and talk. When you keep talking, they will come and talk to you also. Somebody has to start this thing, right? So I am going to say the fifth practice to overcome frustration is that try to be aware about what you talk. Ask, is it true? Is it beneficial? Is it the right time? Very important. I remember there was a true story one of my students shared in the class. She saw one day when she was going out, husband of one of the closest friends is going with another lady, an extramarital affair. And she asked the question in the class, actually. And then, okay, she's one of the closest friends, and I see this happening in front of my eyes. What should I do now? Maybe I should not talk about it. Within 2 to 3 weeks of time, what happened was that the friend found it out, and they talk it out, they fixed the problem. But if she had phoned that friend that night, there could have been a breakup or a divorce. Is this the right time? Think about it. Sometimes you don't have to talk, just observe only. If you talk, you don't know what's going to happen to you. That's why speech is not about lying or whatever, it's also about good time, right time. Only communicate when the right conditions appear, otherwise stay quiet. That is more happiness to us. And the Buddha said, silence Ariya. Noble silence is wisdom. Sometimes don't talk. Just stay quiet. It is wisdom. If you keep talking, more problems will come to you. I always tell a story about it, a real story. When you meet immigration police, don't talk a lot, Just answer what they ask. If you keep talking, they're asking, what did you say? Okay, tell me, I want to write that down too. It is like how you talk to police and immigration. Only answer what you have been asked. Don't answer, don't give more information. You are in trouble. I mean, if it is not necessary, why you want to answer unnecessary things? I think that is the same thing that we should do in our life. Don't talk a lot. Unnecessary things will appear to us. Better to stay quiet, be silent, just observe. If there is an emergency, urgent message, you have to pass it, right? Otherwise, we don't have to. So, calm and ethical speech is what we talk about as the fifth practice. So, be careful about the quality of your speech, purpose of your speech, and the time. Is it the right time or the wrong time? Okay. All right. So, there are situations like that that you can think about. Once again, when calmness does not mean suppression, calmness is not equal to bottling emotions. Calmness is a very different thing. That's why we have to practice those 5 steps. Calmness is equal to clear awareness without harm. You can't harm anybody for that. Buddhism discourages repression. What is repression here? Try to hurt us. No, we don't have to. Just follow those steps. Healthy expression with wisdom is what the Buddha is asking us. And this long-term training, you can practice meditation like 1 or 2 Satipatthana practices like breath meditation, posture meditation. Also, you can practice loving kindness meditation, metta, and also always think about impermanence. Things are changing all the time. Good things, bad things, we all are changing. If everything is changing, why you want to create a solid understanding about what you call permanent understanding about something? If everything is changing, if someone made me unhappy, that is also impermanent. Why I have to go back to that person to say something not nice, right? Finally, people don't push your buttons, they reveal them. Calmness is a strength, not weakness. Freedom is responding, not reacting. Peace begins inside, even when the world is noisy. Don't have to matter about it. All right, before we come to the reflection, now we have, maybe we can take 10 more minutes for any questions you got. So, if you have a question, please raise your hand and somebody should help us to pass this mic to the person who is asking the question. Maybe someone else. Can someone pass? You just keep it. If somebody asks, just pass. Please raise your hand if you have a question.
Any question? I do.
There is a teaching in Buddhism that only when you ask Dhamma question, your wisdom grows.
Yes.
If you become unwise in a future life, that means you haven't asked Dhamma question. You have to ask. So now I put a high bound. What are the questions you got about today's topic? How to understand someone to push our buttons, and what is the Buddhist response to that? This is what we've been learning. Yes,
I think I have a question. When someone approaches us and asks about our Buddhism,
yes,
as compared to their religion like Christian, and then they will criticize us, like saying that you are praying to a rock or a wood, something like that, a statue, and what should we act or respond to that?
Okay, if I understand correctly, someone is meeting you, you're meeting someone,
yes.
and that person is a different religious person,
Yeah.
and then
They're saying that our religion is just not praying to our heart or what. They say you are praying to those statue or something else.
Okay. Okay.
It's different believers.
Yes, number one is that when we are having different religious people, we should not bring about religion with them, right? Because we cannot reconcile religious conversations with a different religious person, because they have their own teachings. They have, right? So we should avoid that kind of conversation with a different religious person. That is number one. Let's say there is someone out of curiosity wants to know Buddhism, that's a different thing you can talk about. But if that person is trying to say something out of insult, that's something that you have to address very carefully. Are you saying that the person wants to comment in a negative way, or he or she really wants to know about what Buddhism is?
Maybe they have the perception of the Buddhism, like just you all just do some, not like what they are doing. Right? They say God loves you.
Yes. Yeah, gods love us too, all the time. As long as we are good anywhere in the world, even Buddhism, there are teachings, gods love us. Yeah.
Yes. No, I mean.
So what was the clashing point here in the conversation? Where did the things clash?
More on insultation.
Yeah, tell me what's the point where things will clash?
So what should we explain to them? Or
yeah, depends on what the person is asking, what the person is sharing with you, right? If you don't tell me, I cannot say anything about it.
I think the most common one is like the food that we pray. Then they say we can't eat your food.
We cannot.
We cannot eat your food. The food that after prayers. Then the food are placed on the table. I mean, after the prayers, then they say we can't eat your food.
Who says
but
that?
The different
other religious people.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
But Buddhists eat.
Yes, we eat.
Yes. So what's okay? So you can if that person really wants to know the Buddhist way, different people are different, right?
Yes.
We have no problem with regard to that, because actually people eat with some happiness because we offer to the Buddha. It's like some people like to eat the leftover by the monks, Sangha members, right? I mean, when they offer you, it's their blessing, right? So you can explain to that person, I don't know whether you have enough room for that at this point. It is a different way. Our way is very different because we think it's a blessing to eat the food that we place. On the other hand, we cannot waste the food. That is another teaching in Buddhism. Don't waste the food. There are how many people dying every day, every moment without food. We cannot waste. So we offer, then we eat, or we share with someone who need the food. That is one idea. Second is that we are happily eating that. That is the Buddhist way. Otherwise, everybody should follow that person's way. So now what is happening is that person push your buttons, right? But you have to think, no, Buddhism has a different way, and I don't want to argue with you because this is not something to argue because you are not coming from a Buddhist background. So Buddhism has a different way. That's it.
Yes.
Because our way should not be their way, right? It shouldn't be, right? And your way should not be their way. That's why it's better not to discuss religious sensitive matters with different religious people. That's number one. In case they want to ask something, you can clarify, right? But if they try to pick on certain things, you can just carefully say something that ends the conversation. The Buddhist way is this, that's it. Yeah, because we cannot waste the food. Yes, make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know whether you could elaborate on this at that time, but now I think that it's past.
Yeah, we try.
Next time you can elaborate like that.
Okay.
When someone is talking, you take time, take pause, and then talk. But better to avoid religious conversations with different religious people. Unless they want to learn from you. Exactly. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Bhante.
Over here? Okay.
Anybody? Brother Jack? Yeah.
How about Brother Theo? Okay. Okay,
Very
good.
good. Really.
All right. So in that case, we will end our Dhamma talk from here. And the reason I think that if you have no questions means you have understood, right? Easy to understand. So yes, I think that's the thing. So, but it doesn't mean that you cannot ask questions. You will not ask questions again when you have a Dhamma talk. Yes. So I'm going to share this presentation with Brother Theo, and he will, I don't know how you're going to send to everybody. Okay. Share with them the PDF so you can learn all that. So then let us now think about, contemplate all the good karmas we will be making today. And I have a reflection this way: make clarity replace reactivity. Our problem is reactivity. We will minimize our reactivity side and improve responses side. And make clarity replace reactivity, understanding replace anger, and calmness become our daily habit throughout 2026. This year we just started, right? So may this year be the year that we slow down, and when we become slow to our anger, slow to our frustration, more wisdom will arise. Okay, so at this point, let us think about may all the good karmas we've been doing today by learning about the Dhamma teachings about how to stay calm when things happen in a way that we don't like, but then we understand likes and dislikes from a Dhamma understanding. We don't have to be too much clingy for likes and dislikes. So may all the good karmas we bring in today be transferred to all departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May Devanaga Mahindika receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety and happiness, including your family members and your parents, everybody. May Devanaga Mahindika be well and happy and finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. In Dhamma practice, nothing is going to be workable without the association of Kalyana Mittas, noble friends. So we all are Kalyana Mittas to each and everyone. And according to Buddhism, we need to be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas till we attain Nibbana. So may we be surrounded with more Kalyana Mittas every day in the temple, outside, everywhere, wherever we go. At the same time, may we become Kalyana Mittas, noble friends to as many sentient beings as we meet in this sansaric life till we attain enlightenment. Think it does, we are going to say sadhu to that aspiration. Finally, may all the good karmas we are making today by learning Dhamma with regard to how to stay calm when people push our buttons, and all these teachings be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Blessings. Abhivadana Siddhissa Nichang Vaddha Pachayino Chattaru Dhamma Vaddhanti Ayuvanu Sukhang Balang Ayurarogya Sangpatti Sagga Sangpatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sangpatti Iminati Samicchatu. Sadhu, sadhu.